Greetings from Vashon Island. And here is one of our amazing sunrises that we see here occasionally. Let's take a look at the statistics going on in the marketplace right now. And there is definitely a trend taking place that I think we want to keep our eyes on. Here is the Northwest Multiple Listing dashboard. Everybody has the exact same dashboard that I have. I mean, we can move our widgets around, but basically it's the same set of information. I watch a 7-day market watch going backwards in time, looking at new listings coming on market. That's the green versus those listings being taken off market, going into pending status, and that is that salmon or pink color you got there. And if we look at it, we've got in the last 7 days, 90 new listings coming on market in this last 7 days, but we've got 150 listings going off market in the exact same time. And if I look backwards in time, here we are on the 22nd, here's the 21st, a week ago on the 14th, here's on the 9th, here's January 29th, 24th, let's go back to January 19th. We see here basically since the second or third week of January, which is typically when we start seeing momentum kicking in again in terms of how the market's going to be. Look at the green versus the salmon. Every week that I've done this, that I've saved it, that is, here's 131 new listings, 131 new pendings versus 102 new listings, 138 versus 111, 145 pendings versus 118, 141 versus 98, 186 versus 111, 164 versus 92, 159 versus 95, 150, call it 149 versus 89 or 90. So here we are dropping below 100 right about here in terms of new listings. And we're hovering above, look at that, 186. We're above 150 in this time frame right here of pendings going off market. 141, 145, 138, and 131. Now, if we go back in time and look at what was going on last year, this is just before Thanksgiving, and this is typical, so this wasn't really reliable data. A lot of people would not list in the week prior to Thanksgiving. But if we go back to November 8th, here we see just the opposite, where new listings are outstripping pendings, and that typically leads us into a buyer-dominated market at that point. And we had been seeing that for a while. And here we go to October. There it is, October 13th, 207 new listings versus 173 going off market, 134 versus 128, 149 versus 124. And if we go back to May, this is when we had remarkable things taking place in terms of seller domination of the market. 95 listings coming on market and 158 going off market in the exact same time frame. Well, that's almost identical to what we're seeing right here. But what we're seeing is not quite such an incendiary set of multiple offer type situations driving prices up. Let's take a look at some of that. Now, of those listings that have gone off market in this time frame, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look back 20 days, basically. We are at the 22nd. So yeah, I'm looking back 20 days, and I'm only looking at pending listings. And again, I'm looking in this area here. This is pretty much where I'm keeping my eyes open. And for this, I'm looking at 3 to 4 bedroom houses that are 1.75 to 2.75 baths. So I can kind of get a standardization of that. With that said, let's take a look at the actual numbers. Where's my results? There it is. And the second thing I want to see is how fast are these actually going off market? We know that they're going off market in that time frame, and there's a volume of them that is in excess of the new listings. But what's the actual market time of those? Because that tells us a lot as too. So of the 68 properties that we've got selected, we have here, and this is the CDOM column here, cumulative days on market, 218 days, 148, 131, 111, 104, 94 days, 86, 84. So it's interesting that those listings are getting offers and being put into contract. But if I reverse this, let's do this, cancel that, hit this right here. And now I'm looking 50 results per page. I think this scrolls down, even further. Here's 0 days, 111s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 4s, lots of 4s, right? Lots of 5s, fair amount of 6s and 7s. So if we get down here, 47 or 48, let's use that right there. 48 of those 68 listings sold in 10 days or less, right? 2/3 of them are selling in 10 days or less. Now, then we jump up into 13. Now let's go back and take a look at that other grouping right here. And we've got 14 days. And then we jump up to 20 days. There's 20 to 30 right there. Let's just call that 20 to 30 right there. And then we hop up to 60, 70, 80, and 90, and so on. So these are somewhat of the anomalies, right? We've only got 60 through 68 that are over 80 days on market. So the majority of the marketplace currently is in that very low time frame. And if I were to do something here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all of them. This is something I play with all the time. And I'm going to get rid of what I'll call the anomalies here. And that's really, let's just take out anything over 90 days and look at what the actual statistic would tell us. Well, gosh, I mean, if I look at it, really, let's just, I'm sorry, I'm educating myself as I look at this. I'm going to take those out. I'm going to leave in this. No, I'll leave those back in. Let's do that. We'll keep those guys in there. And what we're going to do here is we are going to look at a statistical analysis of that real quickly. And then we'll call it a day. All right. But I will show you one more thing. So on average, those guys are all at about 11 days on market. There's your average list day on market. Your average list price, interestingly, starts out at 150, call it 159, call it 160, let's round it up, and ends up at 155 before it goes into contract. So we were seeing price reductions, and we did see that in this grouping here. We have some price reductions here, right? Price reduced 38, 37. But what's really interesting is that it's fairly consistent in each one of these. 37, 38, 37, 42, 35, 50, 40. But if I go back to October and November, 192 properties being reduced, almost keeping up with how many properties are coming on market. 132, being reduced versus that. So back then in that big time back in May before the market shifted, 95 news, 34 price reductions. And where are we right now? We are at 37 price reductions versus 89 new listings. So let's go take a look at Alan Pope. He does a great job of analyzing inventory saturation. The red line is new listings coming to market, and this is for all of King County here. And the blue lines are those properties going off market, going into pending status. And you'll see here, this is January right here. You'll see that this indeed is on its way back up. And I bet we see that crossing over. If I look at the area that is over in Bellevue and Mercer Island, almost the exact same set of numbers. Now, during this time frame, that's when things were just crazy, where the the pendings continue to outstrip the inventory. Let's look at the area that's basically from I-90 up to, I-90 up to about 145th. And we had the same thing. Pendings were outstripping new inventory. And then in that section of May, June, July, August, September, right until about then, we saw that the new listings were outstripping the pendings. But look where the pendings are heading at this point. And that's a month old. I bet his numbers change once we see his next set. And the same thing we see for West Seattle going all the way down to Federal Way. Not that much difference. So wherever you happen to sit, that's what's going on. All right, I'm trying to keep these as short as possible these days, but I think we are definitely seeing a return to an inventory deficit, and whether or not that is going to cause some crazy pricing going on will be a real interesting question. And it's really tough for appraisers right now, because if they're looking backwards and they're seeing that properties have been dropping in price in order to get to sales, and then all of a sudden we start seeing multiple offers that will drive prices above list price, appraisers are going to have a hard time dealing with that kind of data. All right, that's the Bruce Report. Hope you guys are all doing great. Don't hesitate to reach out. Talk to you soon.